What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going over a budget recap for my family's real budget for June. As always, if you like this budget spreadsheet that I'm using, you can get it for yourself. It will be linked in the video description. It is an instant download to Google Sheets and it comes with a detailed video tutorial. All right, June was a good month. Like, honestly, we stayed pretty much on budget. Some of our sinking funds, not so good, but I'll get to that. But overall, I feel like it was a good month. The thing that was not so great about it is we didn't send any money to investing because we are fully funding our HSA this month. Now, hopefully some of that will not be spent and we'll be able to invest it at the end of the year when we know what all our medical expenses for the year are, because we sent like, I don't know, thousands of dollars to that HSA. So hopefully we won't need to use it all, but we've had a lot of medical appointments and our health insurance is a high deductible plan, which is why we can contribute to an HSA. So I think we're going to use it all, but you never know. I'm going to stay hopeful that there'll be something left to invest at the end of the year. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at the income. So we had budgeted for $10,818 and this is net income. So after taxes come out and after the HSA contributions and everything comes out, we did pull from savings this month to make up for the fact that my husband's paychecks were like basically cut in half to get our HSA funded. So that's why our income is like around what it normally is. It's normally like around 10,000, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but generally around 10,000 net. And we actually brought in $10,942, so that was $124 more than we expected. So not a whole lot extra, but something. So like I said, pay yourself first. We weren't able to put anything this month, but if you watched my July budget with me, I have laid out what my goal is for pay yourself first for every month for the rest of the year. So for like the second half of the year, what I want to do, because I feel like it needs to be first. Like it's first on the budget. It's first in my mind and it needs to be first in reality of like where we're putting our money. So check out that video if you haven't already and you can see what our goal is for pay yourself first for the rest of the year. All right, and for our debt, our non-mortgage debt, we have one debt and that's my husband's student loan with a payment of $830. So that's what we paid this month. All right, let's take a look at expenses. We paid our mortgage. We paid for life insurance. My husband increased his life insurance this month actually, and the payment is quarterly, so it was over by $68. I'm gonna have to remember to like start doing that every 3 months, is putting in an extra $68 for our life insurance. Okay, internet and cell phone, we paid our normal $115, $30 for home security, car insurance, our normal $110, and Spotify $11. For groceries and takeout, 2 months in a row. I am just incredible, amazing, fantastic. I didn't go over budget for groceries and takeout again, under by $14. One thing that I did differently is I started buying some stuff in bulk at BJ's, which is like a Costco or Sam's Club if you don't know of BJ's, and that's really helped, especially with things like, okay, here's the things that have really been good to buy in bulk. Kid snacks, but when I buy them, I divide them into like 4, and then each week I bring out 25% of what I've bought, because otherwise it'll all get eaten like immediately. So like I got a thing of like Fig Newtons and little goldfish bags and like Nutri-Grain bars and stuff like that. And like I said, I took about 25% of it and put it in the pantry because my kids can reach that section of the pantry. So when they want a snack, like they'll just go in there and grab something. And so yeah, that's been good because it's really been lasting the whole month. And then I've bought other stuff like raisins, like just random stuff. I was looking at like the cost at my grocery store versus what I can get for at BJ's, and like I used to buy like these things of raisins every week because my family like goes through so many raisins for some reason. And then I got this giant bag of it that lasted us the whole month that was like almost the same price as what I would pay per week for raisins. So raisins are another one that I've been getting, which is like another snacky thing. And then I've been getting these giant bags of granola. So I've been doing yogurt parfaits and I get these giant bags of granola, and I got 2 bags and it's lasted me like more than a month for those 2 bags. And I used to buy like one small bag every week that again was like maybe $1 less than the big giant bag that I get now. So there's certain stuff that's been really good. And I'm still looking like every month and trying to figure out like more stuff that I can buy from there that would be worth the cost. Because I only do it once a month, I still get like a lot of like our fruits and vegetables and stuff like that at the grocery store most of the time, because I have found like some of the prices are better, but some of them on that stuff isn't as good, and like the quality isn't necessarily as fresh. So I'm figuring out like which fruits and vegetables and things I can get that are good. Like I got, frozen pizzas. So we got a certain type of frozen pizza, the DiGiorno like rising crust, and they were $10 each at my grocery store. And then I think I got a pack of 3 of them for like $20. So I was like, buy 2, get 1 free basically at BJ's. I have to look back and see if that was 20. I feel like it was maybe even 18. So like obviously that saved us a bunch and was as much pizza as we needed for a whole month. Plus we have like 1 extra. I think we only ate 2 of them. So it's been really good and like definitely helped save us some money. And that's been a relief because BJ's has pickup and my grocery store has pickup, and just not having to go into the store like makes it way more likely that I actually get the groceries I need and cook and don't do takeout, because takeout blows up our budget. Like we got takeout I think once this month, but other than that it's just like cheaper to cook at home. So all right, household, we barely made it this month, under by $1, but we stayed in budget for household expenses. This is like toilet paper and toothbrushes and toothpaste and trash bags and all that kind of stuff. For gas, so we only spent $2.05, and so yeah, my husband traveled for work out to California, but he didn't have to go into Boston as much this month, so because of that trip, so we didn't spend quite so much on him traveling into Boston. So, and then for utilities, we spent $647. This was the month we had to pay our quarterly town utilities, so like water, sewer, trash, and then also just our regular electric and natural gas for heating and cooling our house, and also like our stove is gas, and I don't know if there's anything else that uses gas. So I'm wondering what our gas bill is going to be over the summer, because I think it's just our stove that uses gas now. Anyway, so it was an expensive utility month, but that's only like quarterly. That's going to be like that. And then for miscellaneous, we had only budgeted $25 and we spent $100. This is very unusual for us. I do not like putting things in the miscellaneous category. I like having a category for everything, which is why we only budget $25 for miscellaneous every month. Like I want everything to have a place, and not like, I don't even remember what this $100 is. And so if this was big every single month, I wouldn't know like, do I need to increase my budget category somewhere else? Which is why I don't like doing like a big miscellaneous. But I don't know, there was something that happened this month. I can't remember exactly, but something that was like, I really don't know where else to put this, so I'll put this in miscellaneous. But usually we're like pretty good with miscellaneous, so I'm not worried about it happening 1 month. Okay, so for our sinking funds, we contributed $200 to my husband's sinking fund and $150 to mine and my older daughters. Then my younger daughter got $300 because she had a annual subscription come up this month, so we needed to put a little more for her. For school and activities, so this is where we like didn't do great on our budget, but it's like not terrible. We put $1,000 into the sinking fund. We had 33 in there and we spent 1,152. So it ended up at negative 119. These are all in one checking account, by the way, so no account actually went negative. But yeah, there was just like we paid for like a camp that's in July for my daughter. We had to pay this month, and so if that had come out next month, it would have been fine, I think. But because it came out a month early, it just went negative, so that's okay. And then for my cat Miles, I actually ordered him like a cat tree and a cat bed and like some new things that I don't normally get him, and he's really enjoying them. Plus I ordered a bunch of his prescription food that he has to eat. I restocked like a few months worth of that, and so we spent $521 and he's negative 136, but we budget $250 for him every month, so he'll be back in the green next month. For gifts, we only put $38 in here this month. Oops, $38, but we did have $111, so we spent $78 and we still have $71 in there for gifts. And then for girls' Christmas and birthdays, we set aside $200. We had $97 and I spent $95, so we're still like around $200 in there. My younger daughter's birthday is next month. She's turning 2 and we're having a little party at our house, and so that should be enough to like cover the food and stuff, and I already got like her presents and the decorations and everything, so it'll be pretty like mellow, and yeah. I'm excited. Like, it's bittersweet. I feel like 2 is such a fun age. I love every age except for like the first 6 months. I mean, they're so cute and cuddly the first 6 months, but you're so sleep deprived. It's like really hard to enjoy that time. But beyond that, like, I really love every age. I've loved watching my kids get older because you get to know them better, and like your bond with them grows and their personalities come out, and it's just been so fun. And so while I miss them when they're really little, and I do get nostalgic about that, I do enjoy each age as they get older a lot. Like, I don't necessarily want to go backwards and like relive that because I enjoyed it at the time, but like I'm enjoying these ages too. So 2 is like a really fun age. She's talking so much, and she's just got her own little personality and her own little jokes that she does, and her sister are bonding and like really forming a friendship, and it's just really fun to watch. All right, I didn't put in anything to car maintenance this month, but we do have $233 in there. And then for home maintenance, we had like a little bit of extra money in our budget. We had originally budgeted $500, and we had like $94 left over at the end of the month. So I just put it in home maintenance because we're obviously spending a lot on home maintenance still every single month. We just bought our house in January, and we're like, it's honestly maintenance. It's not like extras of like buying, you know, curtains or pillows or whatever. Like, it's stuff that like needs to be done to keep the house up. I talked about this in my last video, but I heard on the Bigger Pockets Money podcast them talking about how when somebody's about to sell a property, they usually like try to minimize the amount of money they put into it in terms of maintenance. And so when you first buy a house, there's a lot of like deferred maintenance that you have to pay for, usually like upfront. So that's what we're running into, like having to replace the furnace that was on its last leg, and like just stuff like that where it's just expensive. So I'm hoping that like after we get through this first year, maybe the maintenance costs will slow down a little bit and we won't have to replace like these big things. But for now, we're spending a good amount of money. So we spent $924 on maintenance this month, and that fund is negative $84. So we're trying to get that back in the green and also build that up to have like $2,000 to $3,000. I've been saying that for the last 6 months. I really want $2,000 to $3,000 in there, and every single month we spend all of the money. It's also investing in tools and supplies and things that we've never had to invest in before, because we've never had exterior maintenance for a house because we had a condo before. And so like we didn't have any tools. Like I didn't have hedge trimmers, you know what I mean? And so like I spent $40 on hedge trimmers because our hedges were like growing into the walkway, and I'm not going to pay somebody else to do that. I'm just going to buy hedge trimmers and like be out there with my little trimmers and trying to figure it out. But just stuff like that, like now that I bought those, I'm probably not going to have to buy them for another decade, if ever again. So yeah, it's just like a lot of that startup cost too, I think, when you first buy a home. Okay, and then nothing really went on in the rest of our sinking funds. We've got $50 in home decor, $50 in medical, and $20 in the vacation fund. Really gonna go on a nice lavish vacation on that budget. I'm just kidding. Like, we're not saving for vacation right now because we're really enjoying our home and also have a lot of like work to do here this year. Like, this is the year of like being home and getting settled in our new home. And then for our emergency fund, it looks like we spent $14.35 from our emergency fund, but actually my husband, like I said, went on a work trip, and so he put some of the travel on the company card, but some of it went on our personal credit card. So I paid that off, obviously, because we don't want to pay interest on it, and I just marked it as like spending from our emergency fund. It's like a loan from our emergency fund, and then when he gets paid, he should get reimbursed for those expenses. But it didn't come out in the June budget, and I made the payment in June, so it's gonna just sit there for a few weeks until he gets reimbursed. So we spent $5,262 from our sinking funds this month, and we ended up with $8,701 in our sinking funds, which is actually more like $10,136 because, like I said, that amount is going to get paid back. So this month we sent 7.6% of our net income to debt, 66% to expenses, and 26.3% to sinking funds. Now let's take a look at the annual progress because I always forget to show you guys that, so I'm not going to forget this time. Okay, so here is our annual financial goal tracking. This is part of the budget dashboard. This spreadsheet is like an all-in-one. These numbers automatically flow from your monthly budget to this spreadsheet, so you don't have to like double enter anything. And so I am just going to scroll over to June so we can see how we did this month. So June, we brought in $10,942. So year to date for net income, we're at $72,354. Our goal is $141,000. Obviously, June, we are halfway through the year, having completed June. And so we want this percent to goal complete to be around 50%, and we are at 51%. So on track so far this year. We might fall a little bit behind the second half of the year. I'm not exactly sure, or make it ahead. More on that in a future video. But we'll see. We'll see. It could either, well, here's the options, right? You can either fall behind, stay on track, or get ahead. Interesting, huh? Interesting content. This is the content you're here for. So those are the options of all the possibilities that could happen. But as of now, we are basically on track. Okay, for Pay Yourself First, obviously this month it was $0. Year to date, it's $7,700 from our net income on a goal of $20,500. So we are only at 38% of the way there, way behind. But you know what? We're doing our best, and hopefully we'll be able to pick this up in the second half of the year, especially this last 4 months of the year when we're not paying for preschool anymore. For debt, we paid our $830 this month, and we've paid just under $5,000 this year on our $10,000 goal. So we are at 50% there. That's on track. And then for total expenses and sinking funds, we're trying to keep this under a certain amount. So $10,112 this month. And year to date, we're at $59,674. Our goal is $110,500, so we're 54% of the way there. Not great, because we shouldn't be ahead on this like the other goals. If we're ahead, great, but this one we don't want to be ahead, because that means we spent more than we should have. So we're gonna really try to keep our spending under control for the second half of the year. But you know, life happens, inflation happens, kids happen, and life's expensive. So it's not like we're spending money on credit cards and buying stuff we don't need, like we're staying on budget every month. So it's just, yeah, it's tight. Things are tight. All right, percent to savings and debt this month was only 8%, which is terrible, and percent to expenses and sinking funds was 92%. So we're trying to keep our total year to date for percent to like financial goals, which is investing, saving, and debt payoff, to at least 20% of our income. And we're at 18% year to date, and then 80% or less for our expenses and sinking funds. I know sinking funds are like technically kind of savings, but really like our sinking funds we intend to spend. Like I budget for the year everything I think we're gonna need to spend from our sinking funds, and most of that does get spent like month to month, as you can see, like not consistently every month, but like, you know, we won't spend from it for a couple months and then it'll all get spent. So that's why I put it with the expenses, because it really is like just an expense, but an expense that we spread out the cost all year long versus having it come up like in one random month and then not for 6 months. Anyway, that's at 82%. We want to keep that at 80% or less. So we'll see how the rest of the year goes. So that is it for my June budget recap. As I mentioned, if you want to get the spreadsheet, you can get it for yourself. It is linked in the video description. It's an instant download to Google Sheets and comes with a detailed video tutorial. If you like this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And if you want to see more from me, then you can hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Bye.